Today we are going to be talking about the 6 lipstick mistakes that you may be making that are aging you and how to fix them. All right, so number 6 is, are you wearing your lipsticks that are either too light, too bright, or too dark? And with this fix, you're going to need the same 3 tools, which will be a lip liner, your lipstick, and then a lip topper, gloss, whatever. So the first one I am going to address is lipsticks that are too light for you. And so what you want to do is start with a lip liner that is actually a little bit darker than the lipstick. So let me start with this one. And this way you are defining the lip. Now we're going to go in with the lighter lipstick. And what I do with my lipsticks is more pat along the way. So everything is more patting rather than sweeping it around. Because a lot of times you're placing your liner, which is really adding some definition. If you go and then sweep all over the place, you might be moving that around and kind of taking away that effect. So now I'm going to go ahead and just dab this on. And so now what we want to do is then add a lighter topper. So I am going to place this just on the fattier parts of your lip. So here, and then there on the top. And then rather than smearing your mouth and ruining all your handiwork, I'm going to just pat it together. So here I'm wearing the lighter shade, but it just is tweaked a little bit so it looks a lot more cohesive. And that's what this is all about. Is I hate when we're limited to, oh, you shouldn't wear, this, or you shouldn't wear that. You can wear them. You just maybe need to tweak it just a bit. So this is how I would tweak wearing too light of a lipstick. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next one, and that's if your lipsticks are too bright. And I really did take the liberty with this one. So I am using a orange. And so what you want to do in this case, now, depending on if your lipsticks are, or if the lipstick is a light bright, then you're going to want to go with a darker lip liner. Now, if it's a darker bright color, then you don't want to necessarily go darker with the liner. You can, if just depending on the shade, but either a little bit darker or the same color. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. So this is obviously bright. I don't even know what to call this color. It looks like a warning sign orange. And then we've got more of a rust colored liner. So I'm going to start lining my lips with that. And kind of add in your definition if you want. Okay. Next, I'm going to take a little bit darker of a lipstick and just blend the lip liner a bit. And again, just patting motions. And this is all about giving the mouth definition as well as dimension. And then what we're going to do is go in and add your bright color. And here you're going to be focusing on blending the other colors as well as just applying it on those highlighted points, which are the fattier parts of your lip. And then I just go and dab with my finger. And once that first layer dries, you can then add another layer if it kind of blended in too much and you lost some of that brightness. So I'm going to just add a little bit more here. I thought I'd use orange since we're very close to Halloween. Okay. Now you can leave it as this, or you can then add a topper just for a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. And those are not, you want to apply it kind of where I was applying the orange, but just not as much, just on the real high points, meaning the fattier parts of your lip. And then that, and you should be good. Sorry, I have to keep checking in my mirror just to make sure everything looks okay. And this just gives it a more sculpted look. So you're making a statement with your lipsticks, but it looks nice. It looks professional, and it doesn't look like you've just dabbed on this color that's kind of outlandish. All right, so I will be right back because I do have to actually take some of this off. Okay, I'm back. So the next one is if your lipstick is too dark. And so, like I mentioned, you'd never use like a lighter lip liner with a darker lipstick. So you really kind of want to maybe make the lip liner just as dark as the dark. So I'm going to start that off with lining my lips with the dark. So when using a darker lip, it's a really good idea to go ahead and line your lips and then also fill it in, just so that you reach that really dark opacity with the lipstick a little bit easier. So now I'm going to go in and add the lipstick. So where you really want to focus on is on your outer, making sure that everything around the outer side of your mouth is lined. Because what I'm going to then do now is pat with my finger and just soften and blend. In kind of taking a little bit of the color off more in the center. I mean, it's still stained there, but it's a lot lighter than the surrounding area. And so at that point, you can take any lighter color that you want and go ahead and put that in the center part and the fatty parts. And this is just to blend. And what it is it's highlighting that center part, but still allowing the drama of the darker color. All right. And so here you can then go back and forth, kind of tweaking, making sure that there's enough darkness, making sure that there's enough lightness. And then if you want to finish it off with a topper or just a gloss, I'm going to just finish it off with a gloss here. And there you go. All right, so since I just did my lips, I'm going to go on to number 5. Another mistake that you could be making is having lipstick on your teeth, on your utensils, on your glass, whatever. And so the easy trick to do is take your finger and just get all of that stuff off. And by doing that, then you're not going to be getting it at least on your teeth. Now, as far as on your utensils, and if you want to kiss somebody, the best bet, I know there's a couple of techniques. One is layering your lipsticks. So if you layer your lipstick, you want to then dab it off. So you put it on, dab off the excess. Put on another layer, dab off the excess. And that, in theory, will help your lipsticks last a lot longer, but without the transfer. Now, I prefer the lipsticks now. They've got them formulated so that they will last, all day, and that they won't transfer. So that's a lot easier than, doing the other method that I had just suggested. So that's the one I prefer. Okay, so number 4 is not wearing a lip liner. And this is specifically for when you're just wearing lipsticks, because if you're like me and you usually just wear either a lip balm or a lip, gloss or something like that for hydration, you don't need to obviously worry about lip liners. But when you go ahead and put on, the lipstick and the whole 9 yards, you really do want to add your liner, because this helps really define your mouth as well as preventing the lipstick from kind of going into your lines and any feathering that may happen. So it's a really good idea to get in the habit of using both of those products. Number 3 is choosing the wrong finish. So sometimes if you're using matte lipsticks, they may come out looking a little too flat or dry. Again, if you're using the 3 different products, the lip liners, the lipstick, and then the gloss or whatever topper, you're going to really add dimension to that. So if it is a very dry, flat look, when you add your liner, if it's a slightly darker color, it's going to really give it that dimension. And then you top off with something that's lighter. Another issue is if your finish is like a super high gloss. And this happened to me, and I was actually pretty surprised, because I generally always did wear the glosses and never thought that much about it. But one day I was sporting this really hot pink look, and I thought I nailed it. So I was feeling pretty good about myself. Well, then I was driving, I was in the car, and I went to look at myself in the rearview mirror, and I was like, wow, this does not, it was just too much. I mean, that feeling when you're just way overdone, and it made me uncomfortable. And so even though I didn't mind the color, again, it was just this really super bright pink, and the shine, it was drawing a lot of attention, but not in a good way. So let me kind of show you how I would fix that situation. So this was the color that I used, and it's a very bright hot pink. I just used that, and then I topped it off with a high gloss, high shine formulation. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and line my lips with a slightly darker pink. And it's even hard to tell with everything that I've got on my lips, but just to show. And then I am going to take a slightly darker pink, and this is basically the same effect as if you're using just like the too bright or the too dark or the too light, is you're kind of framing it, you're defining it, and then letting that one color that you're trying to correct sit in the center. And so you're still able to wear it, it's just it's framed a lot better. So I'm going to dab on, just kind of blending the liner to the lipstick. And then I take the showstopper and put that on the fatty parts. And by doing it this way, it really is, it's highlighting the lipstick. It's highlighting the color. And actually making it have even more of an impact. Now, I can actually leave it like this, or I can go ahead and then add a topper. And what I'm going to do here for a more subtle effect is just adding a little bit of a gloss. Actually, no, never mind. I am going to add now the topper, and this one is a little bit lighter. So then again, it's going to create even more of a dimension. So this just goes on the high point. All right. Okay, now mistake number 2, and that is not hydrating and exfoliating your lips before putting products on. So I really cannot stand my lips feeling dry. So I always have my lip balms at hand. So once I feel them dry, I just put them on. As well as I like to make sure to put a lip balm on before I go to bed. So in the morning when I'm getting ready, I will maybe put lip balm on again when I start putting on my makeup. And by the time I get to my lips, they've already been hydrated. And another thing you can do if you do have chapped lips is even exfoliate maybe at night as well. So this just helps prevent you from having those really gnarly, crackly looking lips, because if you have any chap on your lip, it's once you put lipstick on it, it just really emphasizes that. So that's not a good look. Finally, number 1, and this is, there's two parts to this, is overlining your lips. And I know a lot of people do it, and it's a great technique to add fullness to your lip. But you really have some play with that. And once you go beyond that, then it's kind of taking away from that effect. So when you look at your lips, you'll notice that your lip, the pigment comes up to the part where it starts to curl. And that curl then goes up and over, and then it meets the skin up here or down here. that's the play. That's what you have to work with. And so if you line up to that, where that area meets, then you're going to make your lips look fuller. And you don't necessarily have to do it all the way around your mouth. If you want, say, your bottom part to look a little bit thicker, you can, or your top part, you can add it there, just to add fullness to your lips, which is a great technique. But unfortunately, some people get carried away and they are actually coloring on outside of that margin. And it really just makes you start looking, for lack of a better word, like a clown. You know that when a clown puts on their makeup, you can see that the makeup is on their skin part and beyond the lips or whatever else. So another thing, and this is something that is really specific for my lips. So if you have lips like me, is you don't want to line your whole mouth. I have lips that go down like this. And so what I'm going to want to do is avoid this area as much as I can of product. Because if I outline all the way around, as you'll see in my picture, it's emphasizing the downward facing lips, and you don't want to do that. So when I do my lips, I really want to avoid that area. And so I just cleared off the lipstick from there. And that way, my top lip meets with my bottom lip a little bit better. And then you can still see that, but it's not emphasized. So this, I think, is just a far better look than really going ahead and outlining and making everything even that much more obvious. So if you're enjoying this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you'll know when I upload a new video. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If I did not address an issue that you're having with your lipsticks, please let me know and I will try to help you with that. I hope you have a great day.